Hello, wonderful person. This is Philip, and today I want to talk about cold showers. I will briefly talk about some of the benefits of cold showers, and I'll go over some things that are very helpful if you want to do it right. Okay, so first, what are the benefits of cold showers? Well, there is a study that says if you splash cold water onto your forehead, it stimulates your vagus nerve and it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. All that basically just means that you become more relaxed and generally happier. So that's the reason why I looked into cold showers, because my channel is about happiness. It's also about health though, and there's one big health benefit that I'm aware of when it comes to cold showers, and that is they stimulate the immune system, so they'll make it you so that you won't get sick as much. Okay. Good boy. Calm down. Anyway, there is also a weight loss benefit, because when you get ice cold water on your back a lot, it stimulates the growth of brown fat, which is a certain type of fat that actually enhances your metabolism and makes it so that you stay warmer throughout the day. And at the same time, it burns calories, generating that heat. So you lose weight doing that. It's not one of my biggest concerns to lose weight, but if you're in the situation where you would like to lose a few pounds, that's an interesting fact to know. Then one of the biggest benefits for me is I am currently in Wisconsin, which is significantly colder than my home in Florida. One of the benefits of cold showers for me is that once I come out of the cold shower in the morning, I don't get cold anymore for at least a few hours. Actually, the effect sort of lasts all day, but I could go out into the freezing cold with just a t-shirt on. I did that in Switzerland a couple of years ago, right after the cold shower, because your body is just in that mode. And you don't get cold even out in the freezing cold for an hour or so. Now, obviously, if it's really, really cold, if it's 0 or below on the Fahrenheit scale, you are not going to want to do that, because hypothermia does happen anyway. You will eventually freeze to death if you expose your body to those extreme temperatures. But I'm talking more around freezing, so around 30 degrees Fahrenheit without wind chill. It's still possible to just spend an hour outside and be fine. Obviously, don't do anything extreme. Okay, so now let's get to how to take a cold shower the right way. There are two things that are very important there: time and temperature. Temperature is actually even more important than time, but I'll talk about time first because it's easier. Very simply, for maximum benefit, a cold shower should be 3 minutes or longer. Now, you don't have to start out with 3 minutes of ice cold water, because this may just be too uncomfortable. It might just be pretty much impossible for you. Honestly, it was for me in the beginning. So the first few times I lasted like 10 seconds, then maybe 30 seconds. And I spent like a week doing about 30 seconds of ice cold water. But eventually you should get to 3 minutes or more so that you can really get the benefits. And the other thing is temperature. This is even more important, because there is something called cold habituation. It means that your body gets used to the cold temperature. But this cold habituation effect does not happen at temperatures above 15 degrees Celsius, or it's very greatly reduced above 15 degrees Celsius. So for those of you who are on Fahrenheit, that would be about 60 degrees. Actually, almost exactly 60. I believe it would come out to 59 or something like that. Anyway, so if your water is 60 degrees or warmer, it will still feel cold. It'll still be cold tap water. In Florida, for example, I measured it. In February, my tap water was 16 degrees Celsius, so just a little bit too warm. It still felt pretty cold in the shower, but you won't get the habituation. So day after day, you'll just be torturing yourself with the cold water without ever getting used to it. It'll always be uncomfortable. If you go below 15 degrees Celsius, it starts getting better, but for maximum benefit, they showed that the range between 5 and 10 degrees Celsius, so that's just about the 40s of the Fahrenheit scale, is optimal. So if your water temperature, your cold water temperature is in the 40s, you're good to go. So if you're on Celsius, that's between 5 and 10 degrees Celsius. If it's a little bit below that, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I suspect it's going to be a little bit better still, but the study just happened to look at 5, 10, and 15 degrees Celsius, respectively. So you really have to try to get cold water. It's one of the reasons why every few months I go to a colder climate, because in Florida I just can't get really cold water for cold showers. Now, the good news is this cold habituation effect lasts for about 18 months. So if once a year, or even once every year and a half, you can go to a colder climate and get some cold tap water on your skin, that's all you need to stay sort of used to the cold, for your body to stay used to it. There's one more thing that's important here, because when I first went to Switzerland in 2016 and started taking cold showers, I wasn't aware of this, but I quickly figured out that the reason why the cold water didn't feel quite cold, at least in the master bathroom, was that there was actually a special kind of faucet there that always mixed a little bit of hot water in so that it wouldn't get too cold. I guess people consider this a benefit. They're thinking, okay, who wants ice cold water? Let's make sure that if you take a cold shower, it's not too cold. Well, obviously, that's going to be a little bit of a problem if you're trying to have that cold habituation effect. So make sure that it's not your faucet that's actually preventing you from getting cold water. And of course, the other thing is the pipes in your house are probably going to be much warmer than the outside. So if you let the water run for a couple of minutes, then it'll reach its maximum degree of coldness. That's pretty much it. Those are the important things. Now, one more important thing before you start taking cold showers, I feel like I have to say this: talk to your doctor about whether that is appropriate for you. I am not a doctor, but I can imagine if you have just had a heart attack, for example, and you're recovering from that, it might not be the best thing to, for the first time in your life, jump into ice cold water. So yeah, use common sense and talk to your doctor before you expose yourself to any risks. But other than that, just enjoy. Oh yeah, if you're now thinking, oh, I could never do this, or it's so uncomfortable, there are two different ways to start this. I've heard people say that they start with a warm shower and then slowly decrease the water temperatures, make it colder and colder, sort of to give the body a chance to become accustomed to it. I hear that works very well for some people. I did it a little bit differently because I like extremes. And the way I started was I took a hot shower, as hot as I could stand, for a few minutes. So then I was feeling hot in general, and my skin was sort of starting to burn a little bit. Now, again, use common sense and be careful with hot water. You don't want to have second-degree burns at the end of your shower, but I just took a hot shower first and then immediately switched it to cold. That sort of made it a little bit easier for me to bear with it for the first few seconds. And I mentioned this before, I think the first time I tried it, I lasted maybe 10 seconds of ice cold water, and then I felt like I had to stop. And that's not a big deal, because as long as you do a little bit more each time, you'll get to the 3 minutes that are recommended. Well, that's pretty much it. Doggy is being a little bit active right now. Whoops, don't run into the camera. Don't do it. Be nice. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you find some of this information useful. If you do, I'd appreciate it if you could maybe thumbs up the video or even subscribe to this channel. If you hit the bell icon that's sort of down there also, you'll get notifications when I come out with more videos. It might be a golden retriever video, might be something else. Oh yeah, well, let's leave this for another time. For now, this is it. Cold showers, I recommend them, but I'm not a doctor, so make your own decisions and have a beautiful day.